Hi, welcome to TTOG. We're your hosts, Sarah and Annmarie.
This podcast is not a replacement for therapy. We are therapists. However, we are not providing free therapy.
Welcome back to TTOG. I'm your host, Annmarie.
I'm Sarah.
And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about self-care, something I don't know anything about.
I know all the things.
So I guess you're going to be the one that's in control today.
Take
Oh,
it
weird.
away.
You love that.
I do love that. I love being in control. Stop.
Sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah, I guess we can start off by self-care is very different to everyone.
Isn't that the truth?
I also did this assignment just recently in school, and one of the graded assignments where we had to make a self-care routine, and she prefaced that I'm not talking about face masks and relaxing. And it was really interesting to me because that's self-care to me.
Yeah.
Not the only form of self-care, but a very important part of my self-care is relaxing, face mask, all that stuff.
That's a lot of value for you.
Right. It is. It was unique to see my routine for this assignment kind of play out and not only be like weekly face mask, weekly this, nightly this, da-da-da-da. And I kind of incorporated, I guess, my journal and quality time with the people that I love and doing things with my dog because that's self-care.
We did the same assignment.
Really?
Yes. We're in the same program.
I know,
We're
but
in the
she's
same program.
new.
I know, but I think everybody does that in that class.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
What class was it?
I can't remember.
Practical?
Probably. Yeah,
I love
probably.
it.
Yeah. And I had no idea what she was talking about. No idea. Let's be completely honest. I'm pretty sure I might have Googled a lot of those things. Because self-care, I didn't take care of self. What do you mean? We take care of others.
Oh my God, look at all this hair.
And then that's where the care of me would come from. Taking care of others was me taking care of me. I didn't know the before everybody else, it's you.
No,
I had no idea.
I agree. Because timeline. I love doing this each episode. Just
Love a
of,
timeline.
like everything. I was the exact same way. I knew that I got that kind of self realization or self-satisfaction from feeding everybody else. And to a point where it was kind of hurting me.
Yeah.
It was not self-care at all, but I loved the feeling that I got from making sure everybody else felt good.
Yeah.
That I was like, okay, that should be fine. And this was even as a child.
That was good enough.
Yeah, as a child, I guess it was always, this is kind of deep, but it was always kind of fight or flight mode. And if I was either out of the way or any chance I got to have someone have a smile on their face or be like, oh, this was really sweet of you, that validation that you see me was enough.
Right, where now it's the journey, for me at least. Now that's not the only things that I guess fill my bucket of self-care, which is you don't know until you do something different.
Yeah.
From our previous episode.
Yeah.
Right? It's you don't know what'll work until you try. And then, okay, the things aren't horrible what you're doing, right? Me pleasing other people or making sure that they're happy fills me up. Nothing wrong with that, but it's not filling my cup and it never will all by itself.
Right.
So learning self-care and knowing what that actually means, right? Each individual really has to define what self-care really even looks like and where they are in their lives. Like, that's so important to know where you are and like what you can do that's attainable, right? That goal of self-care really is a goal, lifelong goal. Like, all of these things are such lifelong things. I know I keep saying it every single episode. It's like, this is all lifelong because it is, because where I was when I was in my 20s comparative to my 30s when I had my first kid to now, oh my gosh, almost pushing 40. It's like, with 3 kids, okay, where do I have the time? What can I do? What does that look like comparative to when I'm in my 20s and I got all the time in the world, really, essentially, comparative to now.
It's so funny listening to you because obviously, like,
What are you really going to say?
Did I start school younger than you?
Yes.
So I guess just listening to how you say, like, you had so much time, and then I think to myself, like, I'm in my mid-20s, and I don't feel like I have any time. Like, I don't have any time to... I prioritize myself, which also came with age, because I never did that. There was a time where I didn't even know what prioritizing self meant. Google search. But, like, or Google search on how to even fucking do that and maintain that. But listening to you, I just wonder, I'm curious of where I will be in my 30s. Because
it's not bad.
It's such a shift. Again, I know we say this a lot, but it's such a shift in where we're at in life.
Yeah.
Because I went from, I guess, childhood, and then where I am right now, and then eventually I'll have another shift.
Mm-hmm. We're all going through those waves.
Right.
Right? And it's like almost like riding the wave when it's there. Right? Sometimes there's times that I am really good about taking care of myself and like kind of waking up early and doing those things for myself. But there's absolutely times where I'm like, all right, I'm sleeping till the kids get up. And like, that's
it's so funny because
a self-care, like, right. So for self-care for me, like the number one thing that right now in my life that I absolutely love, and my husband can totally attest for this. My husband and I were playing a game with our oldest the other day, and it was like a whispering game where we would tell them, like, he would read a question, and it
like
was
telephone when we used to play back in the day.
Kind of like that. But then I would tell her my answer, and then she would say it out loud to him, like what the answer was, and he would have to guess first before she said it. Like, she would be the only one that knew it, and like the thing was, the answer was, what's Annmarie's favorite thing to do without question, and he was like, sleep. I died.
What was it
I
really?
died. I said shopping, but he was not wrong. Like, he is not wrong, because I could sleep until the cows come home. I value sleep so much because the lack of sleep, almost like the survival mode that I went in when I had kids at a very newborn status, was so real. So real, juggling the things. So it's like, it gets better, but sleep is so prime for me. It's because I also know that when I get enough sleep, then I can do the other things externally.
You're functioning at your best.
Right. Like, studies, there's so many studies now that show that ample sleep, whatever that looks like for each individual, is going to be different, again, with the seasons of life, that if you don't get enough, that decreases your cognitive brain. And like, I already have a lot of things that can like decrease that. Like, I don't need sleep, right? Like, that's one I'm willing to control. And like, I value that so much. Like, it is. It's like, all right, bed.
Right. And like, don't let her fool you. You have probably the best children when it comes to sleep.
I do. Like I really do.
I have a family that I love and adore that I call part of my family now, and I've been a part of their lives since they were born, and they get up at fucking 5 a.m.
Roosters. I can't do it.
No matter what time they go to sleep, like they're great nappers, but like no matter what time they go to sleep, they are up way too fucking early for me.
My kids are pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's great.
I know.
love that for you.
8 a.m.
Like that's a good start time.
Right, so that helps with the self-care.
Having
For
perfect
me,
kids.
having perfect kids. Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it. No, I definitely agree with the sleep. I get very anxious if I don't have an appropriate amount of sleep.
Right. So, like, understanding that, okay, maybe we do want to continue to watch this show, right? Like, for me right now is Prison Break. I
I don't
can't.
think I've ever watched that.
Oh, my. And, like, I have to stop myself. It's like, go to bed. I really want to watch it, like, again and again, over. Let's just keep going. But it's like, no. I know that more bad is going to happen tomorrow or the next day if I don't just limit myself. And, like, I can watch it again tomorrow. Like, this is not a big deal. Yeah.
I love Love Island.
I've never watched an episode.
Oh, it's so good. But that's because probably I love. And
Crush.
I just, literally, like, I love, but I can't have it right now. So,
She's out.
yeah, it's not in the cards for me.
Her friend
probably.
that's a therapist also says no more. That would be me.
Yeah.
What about you?
What about me? I'm the traditional self-care. Like, again, I never watched anybody. I get so deep. Like, why? But I never watched.
Because this is you.
Right, this is me. I've never watched anybody growing up really prioritize themselves. And I think I had a shift in self when I was going through anxiety. And I was like wanting to manage things better. And I knew that the first step was kind of treating myself better.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been a girly girl.
Unlike moi.
Yeah, I've always been a girly girl, and I always loved all the makeup, all the skincare, all the nail stuff, all the hair stuff, etc. And I don't know, I just fell in love with
Taking care of yourself.
taking care
There's
of
nothing
myself.
wrong with that.
Yeah.
But there is a limit, right? Like, it can get to a place, no matter what, too much of something is
Right.
bad, right? There has to be other buckets that can fill it, because if it's only one, oh gosh, almost knocked our mic out. If we have too much of something and that one isn't working for that day, you have to be able to shift into a different realm of like, what now? Because if there's nothing there and that's the only thing that's ever worked,
Right.
right?
Like, that's right. And as much as I agree with hold on. As much as I agree with that, that's a bucket that I will never half fill either.
Yeah.
Like, I will always keep that bucket full, along with other ones, obviously. But, like, I feel like I was so without that for so long that now it's not, like, it's a non-negotiable for me. And it's a non-negotiable for anyone that's in my life. Like, if you take away that for me, I can't have it. Because not that I'm conceited or anything like that.
That much. I'm just kidding.
Confident.
You're not.
No, not that I am conceited. I just think that,
You know what you like.
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But you've grown to know what you like.
It took a long time to figure out what is my favorite things, what's that. And I love a good book. Self-care.
Yeah.
Like, that is my self-care, a good book. And unwinding. Like, anything to do with unwinding is great.
Pillow for me.
Yeah, I love sleep too.
I don't know if anybody needs a good pillow, but the pillows that have
You're gonna
the
do
dual side.
free promotions right now.
No.
I didn't even pay you to talk about this, and you're just gonna.
No, I
talk
won't
about
say
it.
the brand, but I'm
okay.
just saying like
Can
they.
you tell me after though?
Yes, the dual, the dual. Like one side has a cold side, and the other side is like fluffy. Oh my god.
Oh, definitely need that.
Yeah.
But one thing about me, which is a hot take, and you're probably gonna get icked out. I love. In fact, I need a flat pillow.
Oh yes, it is flat.
Like if it is
Do you understand?
hotel-y, my neck.
Listen. When I was growing up, this was the pillow.
Okay, me too.
It was
That's what
almost
have
like I
right
was
now.
sleeping on
The bed,
the bed.
mattress. Okay,
So
perfect.
this was great. It's,
love that.
It's the best thing ever.
Love that.
So I will share the goods later.
I also should preface that. I don't know if I should say this, but still at 24, almost 25, I love my blankie.
Wow.
I do love my blankie. I love it so much. It has a hole.
Really?
Yes.
Your mom needs to take that away from you.
No.
Okay.
I
I wonder.
Louis Vuitton blanket.
I'm telling you, people. She is bougie.
Yes, it's a Louis Vuitton blanket, and it has a hole in it. And that's another thing that I need for my self-care.
Eat you.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. Completely.
Okay, so I have a few questions for you.
Ditto.
Oh. My first question is an easy one. What's your favorite form of self-care?
Other than sleep?
Yeah, it could be nightly, weekly, like literally anything.
Honestly, probably my favorite thing is to mix it up, meaning like learn new things. Like no matter what it is, it could be crafting, it could be, doing this, it could be something with work, it could be doing something different with the kids or my husband, like no matter what it is, doing something new, learning something new. It could be reading. Like that.
Yeah, I love that for you, but being an OCD routine queen,
Yeah.
not on the cards.
Right. Well, talk to me when you're 30s somethings.
Yeah, and my kids better get with it.
Call me.
They better be as perfect as yours because routines
Well,
for the whole family.
Sorry you're not marrying my husband. Not letting him go.
And moving on.
Okay.
Second question. If your younger self were to ask you what you know now, what is something you would tell her about self-care? Like if she was like, hey, I'm really trying to look more into self-care and what I can do to prioritize myself with the knowledge that you know now, what would you tell her?
I would tell her, go ask someone else you trust. Right? My mom was not self-care queen. She wasn't very girly, not at all. I mean, full disclosure, I think every single yearbook my hair was down, but every day other than that my hair was wrapped up in a bun.
Oh my God, that's my mom.
Right? So like that is
Bun
just
central.
That is and I loved it. I really did. Like
Well, yeah,
that
that's
was
that's an era of your life. Like that's a chapter that's now closed.
right.
But that's always there.
I do wish I would have asked like a friend or, one of my aunts or my cousin. My cousin was very girly and like we would laugh at each other. She would laugh at me. She was like, you're just not doing it. And I'm like, you're doing it. And like, that's weird.
It's so funny.
So like I would tell her like, go ask somebody, just ask the questions, right? Get to know what you don't know. So
I love it.
yeah. So
Nice.
now for your questions.
I'm ready. I'm always ready.
I know.
Self-care.
other than the masks, the routines, what would you want to add to your self-care list now?
Oh, God. You didn't even give me time to think about this one. Usually we talk about the questions previous.
Sorry. Right off the jump.
Huh. What would I want to learn or add? Maybe like a new method of some sort. Not anything to do with skincare or makeup or my routines, but something that not only could benefit my self-care and myself, but forming relationships. Like all of the things. Something that I will enjoy, that will help me, but also aid in forming and maintaining relationships.
I love it.
Yeah, whatever that may be. If anyone has any suggestions, let me know.
Put it in our
Put it in the chat.
comments or the chat on all the socials because we're there. What? Okay, imagine yourself, older self.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to carry along with you that you already have?
Definitely the routines. And I only say this not because of my tendencies, but I say it because it brings me so much joy doing my nighttime skincare or my morning skincare or my makeup or my weekly hair wash sessions. Like, because I like getting up in the morning. I like going to bed. I like that I know that I have to do this in order to have like a proactive morning or a good night's sleep. And shit you not, if I don't do my nighttime skincare, I know that my face is disgustingly dirty and I cannot sleep.
Yeah.
I can't sleep. And then in the morning, like if I skip something, I'm like, yeah, I can tell.
Wow.
I can tell that my skin is not as hydrated or not as glowy.
So you start early,
Don't
people.
feel
Start
myself.
early.
Right.
That
Just
I
don't
think.
feel
Oh,
myself.
that's what I would tell her. Like, start now. Don't start after the babies.
Yeah, start now.
Start now.
I'm doing things that like, and your skin is great for having babies, for everything that you've done throughout your life. Your skin is great. But
Don't worry. This is just the period of where I am.
But my
because,
thing is I've never, this is a little bit personal, but the only time I struggled with acne was my hormonal acne when I got off of birth control a year ago. I swear to God, I'd never had a pimple going through puberty or anything. But my mom also has perfect skin. So that's probably
Why you're so perfect?
probably why I have an easier. I remember being friends with, and nothing wrong with this again, but I remember having really close friends that would like struggle a lot with acne and bad acne and struggle crazy, like multiple dermatologists, multiple different medications, multiple different creams, and I just felt not bad about the acne because there's nothing wrong with acne. Everyone has it. I felt so bad of the emotional side and like the physical side that they were going through.
Yeah,
and
that brings up anxiousness and insecurities.
Blessed to have not. But when I did that short period of time go through that, I definitely understood.
Yeah, there was a time that after I stopped playing sports and was so active, I kind of took a time out on the athletic human, because the wheels need to keep on kicking until, I'm not kicking anymore.
Literally.
So we take a little time out from that. Like, I developed cystic acne, which was,
so bad.
oh my gosh, I had to go to a dermatologist and they did the steroid injections on each side of my cheek because like they were like this and they were black, right? Like
Black.
yeah. They ended up because I would pick them because I thought they were just pimples. And I never really struggled with acne either. I was so blessed that I didn't struggle with acne when I was in high school, like too much because I was so active. But like when I got that was true. Like, wow. I think that was probably one of my lows of, oh my gosh, I know I'm not like glitz and glamour, right? But like I felt so insecure. And I think that's too where self-care really was like, okay, I do need to kind of start doing something because what I'm doing is not working.
Right.
Especially if I'm not going to do the one thing of being active, which is what managed it.
Right.
Okay, now that we're not doing that as much, now we have to figure out another way.
Right. I agree.
So
the one thing that this is another our podcast is very non-traditional if you haven't noticed, but this is another non-traditional piece of self-care that I just recently started doing, and it's not cheap, so beware, but laser hair removal.
yeah, you're in for that.
Like, oh my God, not having armpit hair or hair other places is literally life-changing.
TMI, Sarah.
I'm just kidding. I could be talking about my legs.
I know.
No, but seriously, it's amazing being Italian and not having to shave every day.
I hear
for
you.
that. Sign me up.
Sign me up.
Like, oh, it's amazing. But again, not cheap.
Right. I think, too, for me, one of the first things that I did for myself was I always loved getting my nails done. Mm-hmm. Like I loved doing it. I got acrylics for like the longest time, and then I found dip, and then never going back from that.
I know I loved it,
but like I love them. It just that is one thing that makes
things.
It really does.
You look so much more put together and clean. Like not a diss or bash on anyone that doesn't get their nails done, but for me. And for you too, because I know you. Like, that's just a piece of like.
Yeah, done, complete. Right, put a bow on it.
I know.
Which I love because, like, again, I think because I know myself and I know that my nails are not ever gonna look like this without a little bit of love.
Yeah.
Like never.
My nails
never ever would I imagine my nails looking like this.
Right, and my nails. If you knew me in high school or whenever. I had no fucking nails. Yeah. And then I started getting dip, and you wouldn't even believe that these are my nails because they grew so much because of dip.
Yeah.
And no going back.
I love it.
None.
I love that for you. And me.
I know. We get our nails done at the same time, at the same place.
Recently,
but you just started going there?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm like a spur of the moment kind of going to get your nails kind
every
of.
2.5 weeks.
She is the routine. Here we are.
Routine. My girl Mary, she's like 2.5 weeks. She's not here. Something's wrong.
Call her now. Call her now.
That's also how I am with my hair.
Yeah.
I am like between an 8 to a 10 weeker.
You're good, you.
I am.
It's the glow up.
It is.
Oh, I think that's what I think is me.
Glow up? Like, you can have that.
I do throw that around.
I have boundaries.
I have boundaries.
You do. I love you.
Do not love them.
Don't love them. Not yet.
They're worth it. They're listening.
It's my avoidant. I'm like, avoid. avoid.
I'm like, jump in. No life preserver. You can't swim. Just still jump,
like,
though. Don't do it.
Too hot.
Right. I love it. See, we're like yin and yang. Like, there's some good balance here.
Oh, great balance.
Great balance.
Yeah, great balance.
And I think that's true, too, for, like, even thinking about self-care. It's like what the balance is for you as individuals.
Yeah, definitely the balance and, like, You know what I also love, which is off topic, but I love to meal prep my lunches and grocery shopping. Like grocery shopping and all that I'm in for that. I love that.
I do love grocery shopping. Well, shopping just in general.
Shopping in general, retail
Self-care.
therapy, self-care.
Here we
for
are.
Sure.
I think
sure.
that one probably is my number one, if I'm going to be completely honest.
Shopping.
Is shopping.
I like shopping for self-care.
Because it makes me happy. Right? It's whatever makes you happy, really. Like, and I think just going and perusing, it doesn't have to be buying anything. Just going and shopping. Like, it's just like, like a good peruse.
I retract all statements.
Weird.
My most vulnerable, I guess, is alone time.
Really?
Yeah, I love alone time.
Yeah.
I used to get not in trouble, but like previous people in my life just wouldn't understand when I would want to go to Target myself or didn't want to invite anybody. And like, I love being alone in all aspects, like in my room, in multiple aspects of my life. I just like alone time.
See, it's so funny because like I'm not full Italian, but like we were always around everybody all the time.
That's probably why I like to be alone.
And like, now I'm the opposite because like I still love just being around people, right? I still get recently, like the almost like stimulated overload of like, I know that.
Overstimulated. Ugh.
Right? Overstimulated. I totally got that. Where I was like, oh gosh, like maybe I need to like be by myself or something. And I think it's so funny. Like us growing up similarly and then
for sure.
But you love your alone time. I love my alone time and I will sleep. Sleep.
I think that's because growing up it was always chaos in a good way and a bad way, like both ways. And it was everybody and loud and all the things. And I think now I just know that sometimes that's a little bit much for me.
Balance.
And definitely balancing. Like when I can be alone, take the time to be alone. So
I think that's why I love sleep so much. Because that is my true time to just really be by myself. Like that's where, sometimes I read or, journal, like do those things. When honestly, the morning time is best for me. When I journal at night really is like I have to unwind.
yeah.
In a good book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that.
Love it. Love it for you.
Okay. I think that wraps up our episode. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next week.
Thanks. Bye.
Today's quote is, "The key to realizing a dream is to focus not on success, but on significance. And then even the small steps and little victories along your path will take on greater meaning."